Hi, welcome back to Dax's Wasteland Workshop. I made a video about 2 weeks ago that showed off my craft station and all my cars, and the video did really well. And it was, my first time putting my face on camera. It was a little difficult, but got to get over that fear. So here's my second video showing my face. Lucky you guys. But I have been working on a hover taxi, and it's one of those builds that it's just going together so well. And I have been posting it on Instagram, getting a really good feedback from it. And what I plan to do with this taxi is to show it being built from start to finish, including the painting process. And everything I do to make it, including put lights on it and a smoke cloud and make a base. It'll probably be a 6 to 8 part series. So I want to show everybody the taxi, so please check it out. And I also want to show off some of the other plans for the channel. Here is my 1949 Mercury that I am transforming into a New York style dystopian hover taxi. This thing's getting crazy. I just primered it tonight. It's a bit rough, but I am going to start the weathering process. I wanted to show the color I picked for it, so I went to the hobby store, and one of the guys there I talk to all the time, he helped me pick the color, and it looks really orange. But if you look up some of the pictures of the taxis, this is actually a pretty close color. And I do plan on weathering it and fading it, so the top layers will have a little bit of white added to it, and I think it's gonna look great. So I wanted to show this off. I've been working on this non-stop for the past couple of days, and I'm really proud of what's going on with it. I plan on doing a few chapters for this channel, starting with how to build the thrusters and how to do the interior and add the engine. We got to see the engine that's under here, and I'll hopefully get around to doing one on the painting. I imagine it'll be maybe a 6-part series. And here's some of the things I still have. All these parts under here are things I might add. So I was thinking about putting this almost like a running board. Here's one that's been cut. Would go here, maybe thin it down a little bit. The problem with that is it covers the really cool looking segmented pipes that I made. That running board covers it, and I'm going to do this with LED lights and smoke, and with this and the smoke you'll barely see these. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you look back at some of my cars on Instagram, you'll see how I do the smoke. It's gonna cover the bottom and you will be able to see these slightly, but if I put this running board on, which I love the look of, it covers those. But it looks pretty badass. I plan on putting LED lights on it. I believe it'll have anywhere from 24 to 30 LED lights. If we start counting, I've ordered them already, so I'm gonna have 2 headlights, 2 parking lights, it's 4, possibly 4 tail lights, depending on what I use. I may use this for a tail light. You can see that. I think it's a really cool look. if I can get it to fit there, maybe do a cutout. So that would be 8 lights. Then you have all the thrusters. I would just do 2, 4, 6, 8. There's your 16, 17, 18. I would love to do a parking light in the back, the orange light, but that might get a little too much. So what were we at? 16. Then we have it's taking off, and you have a base, and that base itself will have probably 4 lights up front, 4 lights in the middle, and 4 lights in the back, and they will be flickering, and it'll appear that the taxi is taken off. I've started the weathering process just before I primered it black, and you can see here I've cut away some of the car, and in some of these areas I've roughed the surface, and these will be rusted areas. I've taken away some of the plastic here. I figure a New York taxi with the salt in the road would wear the bottom of the car away. So heavy rust on the bottom, maybe not so bad on the top. I do want to have a lot of it be yellow with bits of rust showing through in the typical wear spots. And I ordered some decals, some checker decals. It's going to be not my first time weathering decals, but most of the time I weather decals, they're small. This is going to be covering the whole car, the checkers, you know, the stripe. So wish me luck. So what I wanted to show here was me taking the car apart. So first thing I would like to know in the comments, do you like it with the chrome bumper? Imagine it weathered. Of course, this bumper will be rusted and flaked. But imagine, do you like it with the bumper or without? I can cover those holes. I'm torn. I really like this, but at the same time, I love to be able to see this open. I've increased the width on the grill, and I think you can see I've added a piece. So the mouth is much wider. So we're gonna start taking this apart. I'm gonna take these 2 caps, I don't know what else to call them, 2 caps off. Now you can see some of the detail work I put in under the hood. I do understand that jet turbines do not work this way, where the air enters and is shot out the side to give you lift, or it enters from the top to give you lift. But we are making a sci-fi car here, using a little bit of imagination and just making it look really cool. So just ride along with me as I explain. Okay, so these are wheel rims. These are the main intakes for the front. This actually comes out right now. More wheel rims in there with another intake. A lot of Gundam parts here, and styrene tube. I use styrene tube all the time. And a look under the hood. Now this was fun. I bent some styrene tube using this. Is it a mandrel? I believe it's a mandrel. And over a flame, and it gave me this cool pattern, and I fell in love with that pattern. Look how cool that looks. Look like giant turbos. And check it out, I got them on the side too. Is that not awesome? I love those. Hard to make. I went through so many pieces of styrene because it would crack or break or thin out too much, but those pieces worked and I was able to use them. There's a few Gundam parts in here. This linkage, you know, almost looks like a throttle linkage. These look like carbs. But check out the video. It's really crazy to see how it looks after it's done compared to when I started. Gundam parts. Gundam. That's a bit obvious. I'll probably change that up by the time it's finished. I may add to that or disguise it a little bit. The trunk's not fitting perfect right now. I gotta fix it. Over in my parts here, I wanted to show off this little gas cap I made. It's gonna fit on the old gas cap. A little more steampunk. This is in here kind of tight, but it should come off. Come on, there we go. Perfect. My interiors on these cars are really hit and miss. This one's a hit. This one's crazy. So I can do this. This is tough to get apart. And most of the time, my cars are not very hard to get apart. But it's right here. It hangs over that. Oh, look at that. Came out good. There we go. Cool. That was actually easy. Oh, there's the top never gets seen, but check that bottom out. And unfortunately, that's not going to get seen much. So feast your eyes upon it. This car is going to be lit with LED lights, which means it'll be attached to a base, and I'll probably never lift it off that base once it's down for the final time. So there's the bottom. It's beautiful, but say goodbye. Now we'll see it again in the video and I'll dress it up very nice. Check out those tubes. Aren't those rad? Lots of upward thrust. Gundam parts. I think that's a Gundam piece as well. A lot of styrene tube. I will be lighting the front four here and the back four here with acrylic rod and a very bright LED light. And finally, the interior went crazy in here. It's absolutely crazy. So you got your flight yoke, two big shifters. Now it's tight. Computer monitor with drink holder. You got sort of a, not really a roll cage, but a roll bar behind your head. Bunch of junk. Old style telephone, look at that guy. And a tape recorder. And a bunch of other stuff, but we're gonna paint this up and tear the seats. The seat has a scratch on it. I've gotta probably pull that seat and fix it. But that is a crazy interior. I usually don't go that overboard. There's a few, but let's see how easy it is to put back together. Now that wasn't too hard. put it all back together. And I'm sure a few of you out there are saying, well, that's all cool and everything, Dax, but if it's a taxi, why does it only have one seat? And to that I say, it's time to nerd out with me. Full nerd. We're gonna talk about the world these cars come from.
Where are they? I think they're talking about us. No way.
The best description I can come up with for this world is Mad Max meets Star Wars Pod Racer. So it's a dystopian world, a post-apocalypse world, not many survivors left, in the thousands. The survivors take the old cars that are left behind and they retrofit them with rockets, boosters, thrusters, and they race them for notoriety or credits or something, fame. They would, have characters that would fit the car style. Maybe this guy's a ex-New York taxi driver.
Talking to me?
He loved New York taxis. Maybe he found an old taxi and was like, well, this is what I'm gonna build into my race car, my hover race car. So that's about the best I could come up with. I was thinking maybe I could make this a bi-monthly series and give updates on some of the projects and show off some of the work I've been doing over the weeks. One of the benefits of starting a YouTube channel is friends that you've met on Instagram send you model cars, and I wanted to show off 2 cars that were sent to me by one of my followers, great guy named Daniel, and I appreciate the cars because they are awesome. Check these out. I was thinking about doing an unboxing. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. The Civic came with a ton of options. 3 sets of wheels, 2 different front bumpers, 2 rear bumpers, and side skirts. Very cool, very high quality as well. I have not opened the Integra. As I was saying, I think I might do an unboxing. So let me know in the comments. So I couldn't stand it any longer and I had to put the Civic together. Cool little model. Thanks again, Daniel. Appreciate it, man. At some point, those are going to be turned into little rockets and I'm sure they'll be cool. I have a good time doing JDM cars. There's a sticker from my buddy Daniel. My first sticker. Thanks again, Daniel. Thank you so much. Another thing I wanted to ask is opinions. I am sort of known as the hover car guy, but before that I built post-apocalypse cars and I have a few. Would you guys want me to do a series on those? I think I know the answer. I'm hoping you would. I do want to show off one of those cars to maybe entice you to say yes. So I wanted to show off a Datsun 510 post-apocalypse truck I made. So maybe we do a quick look at it and let me know if you guys want to see more of this. This one's my favorite. This was a Datsun 510. The little sedan we all love. I chopped the back section off and turned it into a truck. The machine, the dual 50 cal on the front, I believe is the only 3D printed part I have ever bought. If I'm not mistaken, it's the only 3D printed part I have ever bought. Spotlight ammo cases were made from styrene. That right there, that skull, is a bat skull. Found it in a window sill at this house we live in now. When we first moved in, it was a dead bat that had been there for years. And now he is adorning a 50 cal. Padlock on here so nobody can get in. The deflector, the bug deflector, might be a bit extreme, but it does open and close with a chain that the passenger pulls. You can see the chain is connected, runs through that tube, runs through that 90. Doesn't actually go into the car, but that's what it's supposed to be, like a blinds, you know, your Venetian blinds. Little intake, missing headlight. And here's the shelf they all reside on. I believe this was the first post-apocalypse car I built. It's a Ford Galaxy. Machine gun up up front, cargo in the back. This was the second one. The suspension's kind of messed up on this one. What is that, a GMC Sierra? And a lot of tools in the back. This one was cool. Riviera. Made it 4-wheel drive. I custom made moving suspension on it. This was made a long time ago. All these were made quite a while ago. Maybe this lifts up. Anyway, here's the dual guns on the front. They spin. The Camaro. This would be a villain car for sure. And then the 510. This here is a 65 Nova. And this one was a trade I did with my buddy on Instagram. I don't even know how to say it, Lancia Stratos. And super cool. That was really fun. I traded him a hovercar for a post-apocalypse car. I was actually eyeing this car to do a hovercar of it. I was like, well, he gave me options which car I wanted. I like the Stratos. Cool little car. If you've stuck around to this point, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, and I hope to see you again. Thanks.